After our review video, we've gotten a lot of comments on how our using more than 6 motors. Thank you for all of the interest.
To do this, we use a motor sharing or PTO system. Stick around to learn more. Nay 2137 says, your robot has 8 motors. At Prathamersaran 3350 says, isn't max motor limit 6? It showed in specifics you used at least 8. Charlie is not there 9343 says, can you explain your 4 motor share idea?
A suspicious us says, how do you have 4 plus 4 plus 2 equals 10 motors? Oshi, sorry if I pronounce I username wrong. You have 10 motors, isn't that a violation? And lastly, Unreal and unlike 605 said, how do you have more than 6 motors?
In answer to these questions, we do legally use 6 motors. However, the way that we arrange them effectively gives us 8 to 10 motors of power.
In order to do this, I will use a motor sharing or a PTO system. PTO, which stands for power takeoff, is defined as transferring an engine's mechanical energy from one device to another.
Motor sharing is not a new concept. During pitching in, we had a motor sharing system that transferred the 2 motors from our intake to our high hang.
It's not where we come from, it's what we came to do.
This video's main idea is to prove that we do not need pneumatics for a PTO system.
Before the pneumatics came out, we still had a PTO system on our full volume robot, which allowed us to have a 3 motor intake and a 3 motor lift.
We used a gravity gear, which essentially switched the direction of power from one output to another output, using the friction of the shaft through the beam. As you can see here, we have a beam here that can switch back and forth, powering 2 output systems. So one direction will power this output system, and the other direction will power this output system. And as you can see, there is a lot of torque too. The one main drawback of this system is that although it allows you to have 2 outputs, you can only move one direction on each output. This one can only move this direction, and this one can only move that direction. If you want to change the direction of your output force, for example, if you want this to intake rather than outtake, you can add another gear to change the gear ratio and direction. For example, if this was your output gear, this would be spinning this direction, but if this was your output gear, it would be spinning this direction.
This is another example of a PTO system. There are many types of PTO systems. You can choose how to fit your robot.
As stated earlier, one major setback with this design is that it can only go one direction for these 2 outputs. However, with a pneumatic system, we can hold it in place and do 2 directions for one output. These 2 examples are 2 of the ones that we find the most easiest to implement. However, there are also many different types of other systems that we've seen that we are not including in this video.
I hope that this video helped you gain a better understanding of how a PTO system works.
Remember, it's not the concept that is the hardest part. It's the integration of the concept to fit your robot's dimensions and functions.
Remember, press the LS button to like and subscribe. After our review video. Suspicious
sus.
And
Okay.
then you're like, you're always gonna say the S
We
word.
should make, like-
Suspicious sus.
Accidentally sus.
In answer to these questions, we do legally use 6 motors, but the way we arrange them effectively.
The way
We use the concept of a gravity gear, which switch the power of the direction of power.
A suspicious
Suspicious sus.
Suspicious sus.
Don't shut.